I'm going to begin because we have a great group and appreciate everybody coming on. And secondly, I also appreciate your response in a very short notice. So all of a sudden, the turn of the the turn of the calendar, and here we are with sitting on January 20th. So I think that's all good. That means there's some great interest. And for those that don't know me, my name's Mary Waldron. I'm the executive director of the Old Colony Planning Council. We are a regional planning agency. We are one of 13 in the Commonwealth, and our area stretches from Easton, Stoughton area all the way to Plymouth. And we have an organization, a sub-organization called Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy Committee. Got to change the name on that, but it's talking about economic development in our region, and workforce development is important. We had Stephen, come on, Stephen from
Cole.
Thank you very much, Stephen Cole, was talking about life science in Plymouth. So this is really appropriate. We're meeting today, and these meetings are going to be always open and bringing people. For those that do not know, but we did do a survey. Megan's going to plop that survey into the chat, because if you have not taken it, I really would like you to. We only had 7 responses, and I know you all have your thoughts, and I really would like to make sure that, Megan, could you do me a favor? Cedric Turner is joining as a Teams, and we are not a Teams.
I'll make a message. Yep.
You please. But where I was going with this is that I really need your input, because I really don't want it to be me speaking, but I want to be able to capture this. So thank you for renaming yourself. Jackie, if you can just rename yourself to Code Connect, and I know all the great things you're doing, and social media is a great way of explaining all of this. So today's agenda really is going to be shortened in the sense of reintroducing ourselves. We have Susan Moran, who is from not Senator Susan Moran, but from Representative Josh Coulter. Josh Coulter's office. So thank you for joining us, Susan. But there's also a whole host of other folks that are here. So that's why it's important. This list of those who attended will be shared. There is the Google Drive. That information. Did anybody have any issues with accessing that information in the Google Drive? If you haven't gone in there, do yourself a favor and go in there, because there's some great information that's being shared. Thank you, Megan, for doing that. But everybody should have access. It's data, it's information, but a couple of things that I really am going to look for is to have that survey be taken, because that's going to be a direction. So for those of us that joined us in person or by way of virtual, we held a meeting in October. That was terrific in the sense of a it was held at New Heights. It had the Lieutenant Governor, Sheila Sullivan Jardine from Greater Brockton, Greater Mass Hire, and shared some great data about life sciences and the biosciences. And this meeting was supposed to be one that we were going to go to a location, and I ran out of time, and that's why we have Zoom. So thank you to Bridgewater State University and Massasoit and Stonehill. Our educational partners are critical. I'm going to go right into the fact that we've had, our high school with David Magus, along with New Heights Charter, and again, Mass Life Sciences and Transportation. So if you were joining our chit chat, I was talking with Mary Ellen DeVrayes from GATRA, and the access, if there's life science happening in Plymouth, but the workforce is, say, in the Brockton area, how do you get there? Like, there just isn't an easy way other than Lyft, because otherwise you have to go into South Station and then down to Kingston and then take something to get to somewhere. It just doesn't work, right? So there's this issue of transportation. But last week, Jason Hunter and David Edwards from Mass Hire, along with John Fay from the city's planning office, we had a discussion just exactly about what we're going to talk today, and that is talking about what's the world of in southeastern Mass, what has been done. We're in the process of identifying businesses in our area who are here. So we want to embrace them. So that's where we're going to go. Rob May, did you want to say anything before you have to leave?
Once we get into
more discussion. Maybe John or I will have something to say, but we plan on applying for a Mass One Stop grant to explore the feasibility of a workforce development center here in Brockton.
Great. Great. That will be great, Rob.
More
Thank
to
you.
come.
More to come is great. So let's start with Megan. I'm sorry, no, I have my.
Mary, did you mute yourself or are you not saying anything? Jason, it's over to you.
Did you? I'm up next, Mary.
Yeah, her mic stopped working, so she threw it to you.
Oh, I can't see that. Just real quickly on the workforce development end, as Mary mentioned a minute ago, myself, Mary, David Edwards, who's in charge of our connecting activities and a lot of the STEM work we do with the local high schools, as well as John Fay, met on kind of first baby steps on meeting with companies that sit within our SDA, which is Brockton and the 9 surrounding towns. We're obviously very heavily Brockton centric here. So we have identified 7 companies. And John Fay, are you on? Is he still here? Yeah, there you are. Thank you for assisting with that list. We also found, or John found, I should say, a website called Pharma Guy, I believe, and that has some information as well that we can kind of pick and choose from. And on my end, I am going to see out of the companies that were identified that live in our SDA, what kind of relationship our career center has had with them, and see if we can make some headway into speaking with them and kind of getting an idea of if Brockton would be a good landing spot, and if not, why. And then moving forward with that, we are hoping to host a roundtable with either those companies or maybe one of the ones that we've worked in the past in the life sciences area. We have a very good connection with a company called Neuromaker. They're not around here, but they've done a lot of work with us in the local high schools in the area. So that's what I had in terms of that meeting. And we did review, Rob, I know you were heavily involved in having the MIT people out here several times.
Yep.
They interviewed us here at the board and the Career Center level and the city and a variety of other community agencies. So we'll kind of review that and see what pieces we can take out of that that might assist us in getting some sort of flags or markers. So that's what I had. John, I didn't know if you wanted to add anything from that or if I summed it up fairly well.
No, that was summed up very well. I just so from the city side, I think we're going to be looking more at the demographic data, whereas Mass Hire has better visibility into school programming and business connections there. I'm going to be doing more of the groundwork to see where the people are, where the people who could pop into these jobs, where the populations that may actually use the services that we're intending on creating reside, where they're where those jobs may eventually be. To the earlier case, you know, if the jobs are in Plymouth but the people are in Brockton, we're going to have to figure out a way to make those two meet, and this data will be just kind of bolstering whatever case arises from that data. That's pretty much all I have from my side.
And lastly, for Rob and John, if you guys need any assistance on the one-stop application or that grant funding, give us a buzz. You know, we have the resources here as well, so let us know.
So I'm back, lucky for all of you with my voice, so my apologies. I think my computer has seen enough of it myself this week, but I'm assuming I know the conversation that we had last week. So Jason and John, thank you. I do think that the next step that we've been talking about is, what the higher institutions have, not only the higher institutions education, but also what's going at Brockton High School, what's going on at Southeastern, what's going on at New Heights, what's going on at the Boys and Girls Club. I know that Kate Messier is on this call today. So, I think it's that matching what the needs are of the businesses and seeing again, what are we offering so we can have the, what's there, what levels of what is offered, and then perhaps what's even missing. And, I know that is a piece that is always going to be a matter of trying to find, who's going to provide that training. But that's where also, again, Mass Hire comes into play to assist with matching what's missing. But that's also where Mass Life Science comes into play, where you have grant funds to assist. So maybe let's start with someone from Mass Life Science Center who would like to address that.
I'm happy to jump in, and then I welcome my
thanks,
colleagues to chime in as well if there's anything I forget to add. I'll just start by saying I'm Ryan Medower, the Vice President of Education and Workforce Programs at MLSC. Been with MLSC for over 14 years, and really excited about how much we've been able to accomplish in that time, and we're really excited about looking ahead. And I'm joined today by my colleagues, V from our business development team, who's focused on workforce partnerships with life sciences companies. Also joined by our manager of education workforce programs, Joan Abrams, as well as our program associate, Henrietta, who manages our STEM equipment program, which is our high school and middle school capital grant program. We're now accepting applications. Those are due at the end of March. So March 30th is the deadline for school districts and charter schools and folk tech schools to submit their proposals for STEM life sciences equipment and supplies, as well as teacher professional development funding. And you can, I'll post details in the chat about, that information. So you can go to our website and see what's, and learn more about that program. We also have our higher ed capital program. So for post-secondary training for life sciences. And I strongly urge the, higher ed institutions that are on this call. I see, Bridgewater State, I see Massasoit. We would love to get applications from you guys. Those applications are due March 15th. So, please reach out to us if you have further questions about those programs and what makes a successful proposal. But we're really excited to have capital funding available for FY24. Those awards will be announced in June. We're here to support, life sciences training across the pipeline. So happy to answer any questions.
Right. Maybe if Henrietta or anyone else wants to weigh in, I did put your general link to all your funding programs. I know there was a number of them, but and if you haven't signed up for Life Science newsletter, they're always informative. So there's a couple things that you can be doing. Anybody else from Mass Life Science wants to jump in?
I will jump in just to say that we actually understand how busy people are, and we have can connect you with people who would be willing to offer assistance in the grant writing process. So just feel free to reach out to us, and we can connect you.
That's great. Henrietta?
Yes, just to add that the STEM program really aligns with workforce development in the middle school and high school level. And so we are very excited to launch this program this year, and we are looking forward to receive applications.
Right. Thank you, Henrietta, and thank you, Joan, and of course, Ryan. Those pieces, and I know you mentioned is we have BSU, Massasoit, Stonehill. I think the institutions of higher learning certainly are right within our sweet spot here within our region. But then again, there's also the elementary high school. So I don't know if that level as well. But I'm also looking at organizations like Code Connect, as well as with Boys and Girls Club and others that are here. So
Mary, if I could just add one thing, I totally forgot to give a shout out to Dave, who's also on the call from Brockton, because we are going to continue our partnership with Brockton High School again this year. They'll be offering a pre-internship training program after school for students that are looking to do internships at life sciences companies and research institutions this summer. So we have funding available not only to provide equipment and supplies and PD for schools, but we also provide funding for internships. So we sponsor interns at the high school level and the college level for folks that are interested in working in the life sciences, and those programs run year round. And we're incredibly grateful for the partnership with Brockton, because it's been and Dave will certainly confirm this. Without these pre-internship training programs that we have across the state, New Bedford as well, and other areas, so many of those students probably would not have received internships that they've had in those experiences, which have really been transformative as they consider career opportunities in the life sciences. So I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that as well.
I was right. You cannot talk about life science in this region without David and the work that's being done there. One of the first opportunities I had was to be introduced, and I was at a ceremony at Brockton High School, and just blown away. And I know that goes for any of you who are in working with young folks and young students. It's just blown away, particularly what's happening at this level. Certainly above my education and what I have my brain can withstand, but just amazing, and how they have the love for science and math and biology. As I'm looking around, and I have this, I guess I have a perspective. Oh, David, did you want to say? Please go ahead.
No, I just wanted to thank you both for the love and the support. We are very excited to be starting next month our 6th cohort of the Mass Life Science Apprenticeship Program here at Brockton High School. We're hoping to recruit as many as 20 students to train them to work in either college or academic or industry laboratories over the summer. And the state, as well as Mass Life Sciences Center, have been very strong in their support of student internships, and we look forward to hopefully continuing to fill that pipeline as the years go by.
No, thank you, David. There's always, the need is endless, right? I mean, it's just now getting people to know about the programs and communicating, not just within the city of Brockton, but throughout the region is always difficult, which always tends to be why we do newsletters, because we don't know, from our organization, we'd like just to share that as well. So let me ask this question, because I know I see Crystal Love from New Heights Charter. I know that what I had heard from Mass Life Science Center is that they would love to also have New Heights just be engaged. What I heard was that they started an application and never filled. So I can imagine, if there's an interest, and I heard Joan and others talk about connecting with someone at Mass Life Science to assist with what might be missing from your application, or what to get to the next level, and or to partner with. And we have Alex, and we have Mary Ellen from Massasoit. I mean, lots of Bridgewater State University, Stonehill. There's lots of great partners. So anybody want to weigh in about that?
Hi, Mary.
Hi,
It's
Crystal.
Crystal from New Heights. So yeah, as soon as I heard Joan say that about supporting individuals that are interested in applying, I went instantly to the chat to see if I can message her, but it's closed for messaging. I only can message like everyone. So Joan, if you could share your information, I will definitely get it to our grants person, and we'll try to make the partnership happen.
Right.
Very good. I'll put that in the chat.
And for some reason, if that doesn't work, you can always go to, and I think it's in there, but we have all your contacts, so we can make sure we do the connection, and want to stay in the way of doing that. Rob, I know you're going to be leaving. Do you want to chat a little bit more about what you're thinking in terms of, so we're talking about the education piece. That's so critical. Now we need, if you're thinking about bringing life sciences, and I know that's a very global term, we have to, you know, there, you have to find ways of getting people to be trained. So talk a little bit about what's in your mind as from the city of Brockton.
Well, I'm hoping from our end that if we were to receive this grant from Mass Development, there's two products that we would like to get out of it. First is kind of a roadmap to a partnership that, you know, who are all the educational providers out there and how can we all work together so that we are preparing, you know, entry-level certified workforce, both in lab skills and in biomanufacturing. That would include, you know, both high school and adults. We would hope to have, the second piece is a training center, a physical place where all the various partners could get together, whether they're at Stonehill or at Bridgewater or Massasoit, but there'd be one location in Brockton within easy walking distance of the train and within easy walking distance of a large Alana population that we have in downtown, to be able to train folks from Brockton for jobs up the train and eventually, and for our partner businesses that are already in the area. And there needs to be a much more coordinated effort in developing the workforce in order to be able to attract those industries here. So this is coming off of work that Mass Life Science Center had and Mass Development had commissioned a report from MIT. And I don't know how many of you have that, but I'll make sure that John sends that link out to everybody. But workforce development and having a coalition of employers is an important first start for us.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm rambling just a little bit.
No, that's okay, because I think one of the things is that there's someone like Catherine Honey from the STEM network that has done a lot of that. And of course, the Southeastern Mass STEM network is the whole Southeastern Mass. So it's not just these our 17 or 20 communities, it's much larger, which is our intent is not to duplicate the effort that Catherine's doing along with Stacy Kaminsky. It really is to take a piece of it and let's see what we can do to continue and cultivate this partnership. So Catherine, do you want to chat a little bit about that in the element?
Yeah, so in all the work that we do, we include, of course, students, parents, educators, pre-K to 12, community organizations, including libraries and Ys. We work closely with area businesses in all of the STEM fields. What might be of interest to you right now is we are going to offer a STEM conference for girls July 15th at Bristol Community College Taunton Center. And we are going to, along with offering workshops, we're going to have information packets. We're also going to offer a seminar to adults who want to come. In addition, it's for girls in grades 4 to 8, because we want to start early developing the pipeline. In the STEM Pathway Seminar, we will be offering information on education pathways, career pathways. And we can very easily do a section on life sciences. So this group could create maybe a handout. It can be 20 pages or 2 pages that provide information to the girls, but also the adults who will be attending. It really
Catherine, can I ask you just a quick question about that? What pool of schools are you going to be reaching out to attend that conference?
Well, Bristol Community College, the planning committee includes the network, the Connect Partnerships, Massasoit, Bristol Community College, and a couple of other organizations. What ECC would like to do, because it's the first one for them, is focus on Taunton. And because they have not reached out to the 3 groups, I prefer not to say it right now, because they haven't done the initial outreach. We certainly anticipate there'll be far more than 50 girls who will want to attend. But what we're doing is setting this up as a replication model. So we will be inviting people who want to come and observe, because they may want to replicate a workshop, which could be in life sciences, or the whole conference in their community. So everything we're doing, we will document. So if someone wants to do a similar event in their community for girls and boys, whatever age, that material will be available. So I can work with anyone on this group if you want to work on develop a package about the life sciences and what Old Colony is doing by their, through their efforts. But it is July 15th. So if anyone has any questions or would like to participate, let me know. I don't know if we lost Mary, maybe her mic again. I don't know.
It's not usual for her to go this long without talking.
Is she on?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I think we might have lost her for a moment.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions or suggestions on how we could highlight what you all are working on accomplishing as part of being part of this effort? Well, you can think about it.
Well, it sounds like a wonderful idea, and I'm definitely interested in checking it out. So thank you for that.
Well, I can jump in with something that isn't directly involved with this, but my name's Pat Monteith. In addition to running the Makerspace and the Portable Planetarium at the Brockton Library, the other hat I wear is chair of the South Shore Regional Science Fair. And we have the science fair coming up on Saturday, March 4th at Bridgewater State. And we are looking for judges. We have an incredible number of students who are submitting projects. At this point, we have almost 300 projects that are registered, which is more than twice that we've ever had before. So we need lots of judges in, 10 different categories of science. And the students who participate, what we're looking to do is encourage them and empower them to pursue careers in STEM. And, with a lot of the students, this is their first opportunity to connect with academics or professionals who are judging the science fairs to get some really good feedback and advice about how they can improve their project. 40 of these students will advance to the State Science Fair, which is held at MIT the first weekend in May. And 3 of the students will have an opportunity to compete for one of the 9 slots that Massachusetts sends to the International Science and Engineering Fair. I'm going to put my contact in the chat. You can reach out to me if you'd like to, and I'll send you more information about being a judge at the science fair on March 4th at BSU.
Pat, do you have a flyer or any additional information that I could distribute to faculty at Stonehill in our STEM to see if they would be interested? I think in particular, they'd want to know what areas of science you'd be looking for judges to see if they can lend their expertise. But if you have something that I can distribute to faculty, I'd be happy to here at Stonehill.
Pat,
You're
you're
on
muted.
mute. You're on mute, Pat.
I'm having trouble with my computer all day today. Sorry about that. So yeah, let me actually put the URL for the science fair, which I just put in there, and you can send that to anybody. Halfway down the page, there's a link to give you more information about judging, including all the categories and the criteria for judges. And college seniors are eligible to judge as well, not just faculty.
Thank you, Pat. We'll also share that with our new Dean of Science and Mathematics here at Massasoit to share with our faculty. Thank you.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
I think Mary's still having some issues, and so apologize for me. I've been on mute because I have a baby at home. So if he's loud, I apologize. But I will say that, you know, oh, here's Mary, but we're having a lot of great conversations. And I did want to mention, we've talked a lot about connecting people. And I know that one of the things that we were concerned about is just making sure that people were comfortable sharing contact information. So I do plan on creating a spreadsheet in the Google Doc that anyone who's interested can put in their name, their association that they're with, as well as their contact information. So then that way it can kind of be that optional piece, so that anyone who is interested, you guys will then have that as a reference to be able to connect with one another. So that is just something that will be created probably by the end of the day today. So. And
So
then
I
Mary
am
is
back.
on, and her she's back.
I am back, and obviously the science is not working for me and my computer today, so we'll have to figure out some young person to create that. But there were a couple folks I just wanted to. I know I recognize Susan Moran from Representative office, but Cutler's office. But I know that Christopher from Representative Lenatra's office was on. I don't know if he still is on, but I just want to just acknowledge the legislators. They are strong supporters of the sciences and particularly Mass Life Science Center. And so by having you on this meeting today, I know that CEO Ken Turner has been to this area and knows of what's going on, and just appreciate his support for taking a look and looking at Southeastern Mass as an area. So I don't know what I missed, other than I know Cedric Turner has come on, and I know, so the role of nonprofits is just as valuable, right? It just is not just the government, it's not just higher ed, it really is the nonprofits. And I know Pat Monteith and Cedric, and I see Jackie Joseph is on, and we talked earlier about Jackie from Code Connect. The nonprofits and your role in having that continuation, right? The after school programs will go to a level of great importance, but not everybody has that opportunity, and having the coalition again be able to support each other. So thank you for being on. I know that one of the things we talked about before I lose my microphone again, because I have a feeling it's going to happen, but we are going to be scheduled to meet again. And Megan, I had Megan just before we came on, I had her take a look at the week we were planning, because we were going to do every 3 months. Well, that landed on school vacation week. So that all of a sudden said to me, we need to not do it on school vacation week, because I'm going to lose a lot of you. So we're going to move it to the April 27th. But even if I can just get a sense of, if everybody can check their schedules while I have a good number of you, can you check your schedules to see if the 27th works? One of the things that are in the survey was what time of day. I know during school have its difficulties, and I think we we lost David already because it's school time. You know, do we meet after school? We can do something fun that we can go to Brockton Beer, or we can go to some location that we can do it as a social event, but yet have productivity that comes from that. So any thoughts about, first of all, let's start with the 27th. Then if you can just do a raise of hands or use your hand, that if the 27th works, the date. Awesome. Okay. Think and do a thumbs down if you don't. So perfect. So we'll stick with the 27th. Thank you, Susan, and others. The time of day, maybe that's what we can just take a little bit of discussion about the time of day. Does this work? Do we want to do it a different time? This goes to anybody. Just please speak up. Can you hear me? Okay. First of all, I'm like, oh gosh, it happened again. So if we stick with this time of day, right? Because I think what's really going to be the most important piece is getting Marie to connect with, I'm going to, with Cedric. And, you may be already connected, right? It's going to be Bridgewater State and New Heights, and it's all of you in Massasoit with CoConnect. I knew you're probably already connected already, but my point would be that's knowing what Pat Monteith is doing with the library and the makerspace at the library. That's the piece that I think, oh, perfect. Thank you, Susan. So let's stick with noon as long as we keep it within, right? The goal will be probably a reporting out, and I will do a much better job now that the holidays are behind us and now we have these dates. What I would ask, if you can either just send myself or Megan, if any of these other dates either work or don't work. Because what I would like to do for the next one is in fact to go take a look at a location, and many of you had offered that already. So I think we'll make whatever place that we go to, we'll have it be virtual because many of you can't travel in the half hour, 45 minutes to get to. So, we want to be able to actually touch and feel. We want to stay connected with Catherine Honey and the STEM network and all the great things that are going on there, right? Again, our goal is not to replicate, and more importantly, and I'll get to you 1 second, Christelle, because I see your hand raised, is that we want to be able to make sure that we are all supportive, write letters of support, and support if you have an application going in for these upcoming deadlines. That's a really big, important piece. So, Christelle, did you have your hand up for a question?
No, I was saying April works and I didn't put it back down. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Does that work for a strategy for this group? Because April's going to come up really quick. I'm going to encourage, and I may be doing some separate outreach, but to each one of you, put in that Google Drive what you're doing and when you're doing it. And if you need a letter of support, or if you if you need resources, and not that I would say OCPC have any, but we certainly have great grant writers on our team that can assist with many things. So does that sound like a good strategy? And from the Mass Life Science Center, in terms of, does that sound like a good strategy from your perspective on how we're going to embrace this coalition? So we're kind of a spinoff of the Southeastern from Catherine Honey, but we're not going to replicate, but we're going to support each other and know what's going on. You guys are probably all saying, oh my God, she's had her mic back. Maybe we should have it go away again. but the nonprofits, the educational institutions, both, middle school, high school, and higher ed, the community organizations, and obviously government, the, City of Brockton, Mass Higher, Greater Brockton. I know the chambers are not on today, but I know Metro South Chamber and Plymouth Chamber, Southwark Chamber are all supportive of the work that's being done. So anybody, Martina, did you want to say anything? Your northern lights are looking beautiful, by the way. So thank you.
Aren't they though? Thank you. No, I'm good.
And just a special shout out to John and to Jason and David Edwards from Mass Higher. You guys were taking some time to meet with me last week to really kind of take a look, right? Education, workforce, what's being done, the businesses. Let's identify what their needs are. let's identify what sources are occurring already and where's that gap? Where's that gap that we're not meeting, and how do we meet that? So then we become more attractive. We know that we're more affordable than Boston, but we don't have, we have beautiful institutions of higher learning right around. But are they looking for the Harvards? Are they looking for the MITs? And I want to say that we have that here. So that's all I have. Does anybody want to do any other shout outs? I know Jackie and Code Connect, you're having some camps coming up. Why don't you talk a little bit about that? And then Pat, maybe you have some things you'd like to talk about.
Thanks so much. Thank you, everyone. I'm glad to be here. We have some fun things happening in Connect. Are in the process of planning our camp now. We're hoping to host 30 kids this summer for a 5 to 6 week engagement. Last year we were able to work with kids on the Zero Gravity program, which allows them to program a robot to travel on the International Space Station. They saw it happen live from MIT. It was a wild experience for everybody. So we are hoping to do that again this summer. We have a couple fun field trips coming up for kids. If you can think of anyone that might be interested, you can find out about this on our website, but we're doing a Code Connect Family Day to the Museum of Science. The date is to be determined, but in March, and families will be sponsored by the Museum of Science. So if it's a family that might not otherwise be able to go to the museum, please put them on our website, help them connect up with me. We'll bring them. And we have a really fun career panel day at Mass Mutual of Boston on the 23rd of February. We're taking 12 kids for a career panel, STEM activity, and lunch provided by Mass Mutual. And we still have room for that program as well. Everything's on our website. So always reach out to us. We would love to take on more kids. We're always looking to work with more kids in Brockton.
Thank you so much, Jackie.
Thank
That's
you.
great. No, that really is a great overview. And I was told that Pat Monteith had spoke while I was off. Jackie, Joseph, do you want to talk about the Arts Foundation at all?
Yeah, thank you so much. One, I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you. I'm Jackie Joseph from the Arts Foundation, which is an acronym standing for Academic Artists Reaching Towards Success. And we have a STREAM program where we dive into science, technology, engineering, and math, but then also bringing in restorative justice and art. So we work with local artists, professionals, to work with the students on their individual projects. And one of our partners in the past has been Cedric Turner to put on some summer programs. So I'm gonna pass the mic to Cedric if you want to introduce the Global Economic Symposium.
Thanks, Jackie. And Cedric, you joined us finally by Zoom and not by Teams, so welcome.
Hey there, folks. Jackie, thank you very, very much. It is always real, and I wish all of you a type of a nice year. All I want to say, we have been really tied up. We have a few things that is happening. One of the things is we are opening up a type of tech effect center right at the in fact the YM in fact what's it CA. So which is going to be in right in Stoughton, because we had learned through one of them that they don't have that. So we are going to be doing is we are going to be teaching kids how to in fact code. We're going to teach them how to build in fact rockets and also drones. We have in fact our type of kids from the high school who was number in fact 2 inside the nation, which last year in terms of drones. They'll be up there to having that day class taught. We also have some people from with Lincoln in fact Labs at MIT who is also going to be having taught. So we are doing our type of ribbon in fact cutting in fact to type of tomorrow at 3. And this is going to be the we are going to offer it to in fact the kids inside the type of Stoughton and also Brockton area. So that is going to be a year around in fact thing. Inside of March, we are going to have our big event, which is our economic some type of symposium, which is going to be over at the Education First building in Cambridge, which is right across from the Mutep Museum of Science. And we got kids coming in from New Orleans, Dallas, New York, New Jersey, Chicago, Los Angeles, and they are going to have their type of economic white papers, and they are going to have it pre-type presented to some the type of judges. And this is going to be open for middle school and also high school. So we have to start off our kids really young. And what I will do is that this is something you have to see, because to have kids seeing 11 in fact years old, and they are going to give a type of inside their suit and tie. They're going to be talking about major in fact the issues right around the world, and also using the economics and also STEM to have it done. That is a really awesome in fact thing. So I will send all of that. This stuff is on our website, but I will send in fact Mary the absolute flyer. Mary, you should have the flyer for tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you, Cedric. This is again a good reason for all of us to get together so often, because it's not just talking about what's happening tomorrow. We want to be able to know what's ahead so we can help get the word out in each of our networks across the board. And I know that where is she? Sorry, I'm looking. Camilla from Mayor Sullivan's office. I know she's here representing the mayor, and the mayor is at a conference, but his interest is strong in this area. And again, thank you for being on and listening. Does anybody else have any other shout outs and talking about?
Yeah, one more thing, Mary. When I talked before, I talked about the Region 5 Science Fair and our need to try to find some judges. But one other thing, and I have to say it carefully because I really don't want to get inundated with this, but the Brockton Library now has a portable inflatable planetarium that we can take out to various places. And we've already been over at Hull High School and Jewish Temple over in Easton, and another week or two we're going over to the Kennedy Elementary School. But if you have a space that has a 14-foot ceiling and a 20-foot diameter to fit the planetarium in, the Brockton Library is more than willing to pay for all the expenses of getting that planetarium out and teaching kids about space science. And it's a real fun thing. And if you want to talk to me about it, I just put my other contact information into the chat.
Pat, thank you. That's a worthwhile point of comment for us, and appreciate. We're kind of closing in on the 1 o'clock time, and I know Brockton Neighborhood Health Center is on. There's a whole host of you. As you note, again, we recording this. I'm going to send out that survey again. Please take the time to it's really important that we are capturing everybody that we need to have on these conversations. I know we've left somebody off, but the idea is that we're recording it. We're going to send it out. We're going to continue to have this discussion. The next meeting is going to be on April 27th. We're going to keep it at noon, and I'll have some sidebar conversations about where we're going to do it. And then unless somebody has anything else to say, thank you. We covered a lot in a short period of time. And send those information, put it in the Google Drive, or just send it directly to me, and we'll help spread the word. Again, thank you to everyone, and Happy New Year. Healthy New Year.
All right, dear folks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Thanks, Mass Life Science.